Water, check. Coffee, check.
Yeah, it's late in the afternoon when we're chatting today at the Great Northern Sexcast. See, look, I need the coffee. I can't even say the name of my own show.
It's that time.
Because it's just, but it's just cold out. Minnesota right now is about 10 to 15 degrees colder than it should be.
Yeah.
So this is excellent sex weather, and it should be. And it must be, because I am noticing a lot of online sales lately.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, just so people know, I have no idea who's buying it. I never see any names. I see city and what you bought, but I have no idea who you are. So it truly is anonymous. See, I can't even say that.
That's okay. Yeah, it's okay. No, this morning, I had to run a quick errand before I officially got ready to go to work. And I just went out. I had a sweatshirt and leggings, and I threw on some shoes and got in my car. And I was like, oh, I wasn't prepared. It was 25 degrees.
Just not mentally ready for that yet.
I'm like, we're doing that winter thing now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So anyway, yeah. So how have you been?
Not too bad. My kitties had dental work, so I've got stone kitties at my house.
Oh God.
It's just they're very silly. But it all went well, and so I've been running back and forth and doing that, and the zillion pallets of merchandise has finally all gone.
Oh, really? Did you get it all put away?
Got it all put away and stuff like that. And so now we're a little bit of a break because, and then we'll dive right into Christmas.
So was that all the Christmas inventory that came in, Colleen?
Well, with some of the new stuff, that you needed to order. She saw it at a show, had it sent now so we could all, get it out and get it ready, stuff like that. And so just vans full of, big old Chevy Express full cargo van stuffed with dildos and masturbators and vibrators and lingerie and, just stuff all out to the stores.
That's awesome. Well, the stores ought to be nice and ripe with all sorts of goodies right now,
Yep.
Which is, it's that time of year. This is really gross. This first one, this is kind of a PSA story. Actually, this one's kind of scary. And the fact that it happened here in the Midwest,
not Florida.
No. Okay, so this man literally walked hundreds of miles, 351 miles, from Whitestown, Indiana, to Oshkosh, Wisconsin. To have sex with a 14-year-old girl named Kylie that he had been interacting with.
Oh,
okay. He walked.
Sometimes I like ye old internet. This is when I do not like ye old internet.
Well, you
should have to pass a test before you're allowed to get on the internet or something. I don't know.
Well, I think you're going to like how this ends up. Okay. Let me give you a little hope here, okay? So, he started chatting with this girl and wanted sexually explicit photos from her and all of this sort of things. And so he literally got up to Neenah, Wisconsin, which I've actually been to Neenah before. Got to Neenah, Wisconsin, and found out that Kylie was not, in fact, a 14-year-old girl, but rather a Winnebago County Sheriff's deputy working with the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, and they got him. And
that's good, because the amount of revenge porn, and there was just a recent story, I believe in the Star Tribune or wherever I was reading it, about just the amount of young people, not just young women, but young men too, that are so freaked out. People get them to send one picture and then they blackmail them to do other pictures and other stuff. Honestly, if we were so less freaked out about nudity in this country, that would solve about 75% of this internet shit. Because people would go, and that's my boob, who cares?
Right. Right. Well, this guy has been charged with using a computer to attempt to persuade, induce, or entice a minor to engage in unlawful sexual activity. Get this. He faces a lifetime prison sentence if convicted.
Yeah.
So
see, that's the person that needs to be in jail forever, not someone that had half a baggie of pot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So let's lighten it up and go to something a little more amusing, but still criminal.
Oh, okay.
And it's a Florida man.
You can't say that shit while I'm taking a sip of coffee, for God's sake.
So funny. When I pulled this story, I totally missed the fact that it was Florida. Oh, my God. Okay, of course it's Florida. Man in Florida robbed a bank dressed as woman. And he was wearing his name, Gumercindo Reyes, 51-year-old dude wearing a gold dress and red wing when he went into the Chase Bank and near Orlando, and he passed the proverbial note demanding money, got off with an undisclosed amount of cash. You know why they do that? Why they never tell you?
Because they don't want people to think that robbery works.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's why.
Insurance, yeah.
My husband used to be in banking. Yeah. So here's the deal. He might have gotten away with it had he not.
Except for those of the kids. Sorry.
Those pesky kids.
Those meddling kids.
Meddling kids.
Oh, my God. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, because we are around Halloween here, so Scooby-Doo is
Scooby-Doo.
Okay, sorry.
But he might have gotten away with it had he not drawn the attention of a passing sheriff's deputy who saw the suspect ditch his disguise behind a bush. Now, if I were going to rob in drag or disguise or whatever, I think I'd just go with the disguise, or I'd go into a restroom
or long. Yeah, I mean, I think you need to find a better spot to. Yeah. To dispose of the bits.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So the police went over to him and they couldn't subdue the suspect with a stun gun. So the deputy chased him into an apartment complex. And then the deputy was reaching for his firearm, but so did the suspect. Then they had a struggle. The suspect runs off. Now we're in so much more trouble than we would have been in. But it gets better. He dashed out of the apartment complex and stole the deputy's patrol vehicle. The county sheriff, Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lemma, said, "I'm okay he was in the car, but he was sitting in the wrong seat." He was incensed. It pisses him off when they steal patrol. I mean, it's like a super offense to cops. If you take their squad cars, it's like,
well, that's because they feel like idiots that they that they left the keys in the car or whatever it is that you could actually steal the weapon. Yeah, I mean, somehow embarrassing someone seems to be almost some of the worst thing that you can do.
Absolutely. This guy is now facing charges including battery on an officer, resisting an officer with violence, robbery with a firearm, and he does have a history of attempted murder and robbery. So I'm thinking he's going to be tied up for a few years.
Yeah, that see, at that point, at least he's not but if he goes to jail, I wonder if he'll go to jail in California, and then he can fight fires for $1 an hour.
Yeah.
But then when you get out, you're not allowed to actually apply for a firefighting job because you're a felon.
Right.
I mean, I can see that for some people, but if you actually get out and you put your life on the line to fight fires, I think there ought to be some, there ought to be a way that you can be a firefighter. I mean, because if you can't get a job when you get out, what the hell else are you supposed to do?
Oh, you know what? And I probably watch too much of a lot of kinds of shows. But I've a couple prison dramas that I've watched. I think these shows did an amazing job of really showing the problems with not the justice system.
Oh, guess what I forgot to do?
Oh, you forgot to mute your phone. That's
okay.
But no, how difficult it is once somebody gets into this cycle, how hard it is, even if they really try to get out, especially if they don't have family or, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, just if you get arrested being, you go to a jail at 2 counties away, you get released in the middle of the night. How do you get home? What do? You got nothing. I mean, not that, people that don't do dumb shit, don't deserve to, get stuff, pay, fix it. And then we got to be able to move on.
I know. I couldn't agree more.
Except for, the moron that wants to have sex with a 14-year-old. We don't move on.
No, those guys don't get. But no, I mean, for the numerous other offenses.
Oh yeah.
We've got to do a better job at getting these people back into society and able to. Because I mean, I've seen so many stories, and it's just I'm glad that. Like, don't laugh at me. I'm going to laugh at me. But Kim Kardashian's done a really great job of trying to, get some of these sentences overturned, but really work on this problem. And I really applaud her for it.
And especially since a lot of the sentencing is racist and sexist. I mean, women will get much harsher sentences than sometimes their partners or the male or the folks that they're doing. I mean,
It's I just really hope that we do something about this. So get this. There's this sex blogger who's doing pretty well. She's got 52,000 Instagram followers, and we've mentioned her before. Okay. She's Nadia Bakodi from Australia. She did a pretty good piece, and it's the 4 magic words, for relationship enhancement / sustenance, et cetera. What are you into? And she read some stats. We'll put the article up on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page. But how many people don't ever have that conversation that have been married for however long?
Well, how's this going? Checking in. I'm feeling pretty good about this. How about you? What's going on? Hey, you know what? The other day, is it not like right that you can say like, hey, that was awesome right then. Revisited in a couple of days, like that was really cool. I that felt really good. Is there something that I can do for you? I mean, a nice conversation. Maybe not at a restaurant where you're elbow to elbow with other people, because not everybody wants, well, some people might.
Checkout line.
Yeah, some people might want to have, I'm always amazed at how much they pack folks into small spaces.
Yeah.
And so there's just certain conversations I don't want to hear.
There's a lot of conversations I don't want to hear.
Yeah. Honestly, though, now that I think about it, I think I'd much rather hear about, like, someone's checking in about their sex life at the booth next to me at a restaurant versus like your aunt's losing her toe because she's diabetic or something. There's this is a conversation that needs to happen between family members for different reasons, but there's just certain ones I want to overhear and certain ones I don't.
I definitely don't want to hear body parts, like specifics, and no. Okay, so in other stories that make me feel old, I do remember the band One Direction. Do you?
Well, I mean, there were used to be 5 of them, and then there were like 4 of them, and then I'm not sure they're still a band. Maybe are they a band?
I don't know what they're doing now.
I know that the Jonas Brothers got back together. I know that.
Yep, they're around. Well, this is Harry Styles. He went on to a solo career a couple of years ago, and he dropped an X-rated video for his new single. And he does basically he's shirtless and he's sort of walking through an orgy, but he's engaging with men and women, which is interesting. So is it because he used to be in One Direction that it's supposed to be shocking? Because generally, women do stuff like this to get noticed. Yeah. So it is a little different, a little gender bender here that the guy did that. Because, I mean, honestly, to me, one of the sexiest videos ever is the Chris Isaac. Oh, Jesus Christ. I had the name and now it's gone. Chris Isaac, she's frolicking in the ocean with this one. Oh, it's the sexiest song. Oh, geez. Oh, you mean, Don't Want to Fall in Love?
Yeah.
That song. Yep.
Yeah. That happens to be one of the hottest videos ever. But there's no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's one scene where, and I don't know if he's bisexual. Don't really care. But at one point, there's a handsome man that appears to kiss his neck, and he leans back in ecstasy. A lot of guys won't do that. And again, so the Twitter lit up.
Wicked game. Sorry, I had to look it up.
Yep.
It's gonna drive me crazy.
I thought you were looking up a picture.
No, I'll be looking up Mr. Harry Styles video later on. We'll have to post a link to it.
That is such a British name.
Henry Styles.
Harry.
Harry Styles. Harry Styles. Okay. He's going on tour in 2020.
Good.
He admits he turned down the role of Prince Eric in Little Mermaid remake. No. Okay. He's sort of cute. I mean, I'm certainly old enough to be his, mom.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that works. He's cute.
He would admit, I can see why he turned down Prince Eric. He doesn't look vacant enough. I wonder, now I'm going to have to go. I'm going to choke on my coffee. Okay.
Funny.
My God. Here we go.
That's awesome. Okay. Are you a cardigan sweater person?
I am old, and now I am. Only a few years, but they're hugely oversized. I don't like them when they're too tight and pulling across the boobs. Most of the time, like they're not buttoned. Mm-hmm. I'll throw them over something. Because my office, it's a building, is 1,500 square feet. It's got 4 different.
That's all?
Yeah, 15,000. Pardon me.
Okay, I was going to say, good God.
Sorry, and it just. I cannot keep it at a standard temperature. It's impossible with large doors and all that sort of shit. So I have grown into, now that I've gone past 50, into the concept of the cardigan. I have firmly planted myself in middle-aged. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I've always kind of liked them, the really cool-looking cable knits. And, I like them oversized too, but... I like to dress them up, but they're making a comeback. In fact, they're even being called the Sexigan now because Katie Holmes. I know. It kind of makes me think of fucking Mr. Rogers, and that's disturbing. You okay?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a sore throat, and so laughing or coughing is just going to make me giggle today. The giggling is going to make me coughing.
It's the new thong.
Well, I mean, I'm rather fond of a tacky card. I mean, I have a Christmas one that's sort of lime green with applique. It zips up with applique snowman on it. It's my ugly Christmas sweater.
Perfect.
And I bought it at a mall at a place called Ragstock. Folks here will know what it is, right? I used to be actually digging around in barrels. Now I think they manufacture stuff. But
they do.
So I saw this. It was different. It wasn't red or anything. I get home and I put it on again because I'm gonna I realized there are bells in the bottom of it, which I did not because
That's fantastic.
The mall is so loud I couldn't hear the little jingle bell. So it's even more obnoxious. It has bells.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, Katie Holmes is responsible for the reinvigoration and sexification of the cardigan because she stepped out in a $1,600 cashmere cardigan with a matching bra that was sort of peeking out, and it just got raves, and it kind of, put the social media on fuego.
If I am wearing a cardigan, believe me, there is more under it than a bra.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be cashmere. I cannot handle wool cashmere. Those fibers, they're too itchy and too warm. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I think that's one of the reasons it's taken me till I was older to do this. I finally get chilled every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and actually all the it girls are wearing them now. And so, yeah, but Katie Holmes had it sort of off the shoulder, one button undone so you could kind of see her bra. And,
well, she's almost 50, isn't she?
She's 40.
Only that?
Yeah.
I thought she was a little bit old. I mean, it just seemed like...
No. Oh. It has her age right here in the article. Did you find the picture?
She's got... Oh, I'm just looking at her cheekbones.
She's a pretty girl.
Yeah, okay. Life and Images, Katie Holmes Wikipedia.
Yeah, she's super pretty.
Oh, yeah. This IMDb picture of her. I mean, this is spectacular. She looks a little bit like Jacqueline Bisset. A little bit. Just in this picture, see?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, she's very, very, very pretty.
We got cheekbones for days here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, London is getting ready to open a vagina museum.
London, England, or London, Canada? Because there is, in fact, a London in Quebec.
Really? I did not know that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The museum is going to have a grand opening, actually, next month. And they got £50,000 to open the world's first bricks and mortar museum dedicated completely to gynecological anatomy. and they are hoping to get to be the world's largest collection within 10 years. And
I mean, talking about because I know there's like a penis museum in Iceland, whatever.
Inspired by there. Yep, it inspired them.
So, but I mean, a vagina. I mean, again, that's just like a part. So we're talking like vulvas. Do they have like an ovary room and a fallopian room and a labia room and a cervix room? I mean, I'd be curious about how that works.
Listen to the quote. Zoe Williams is the museum's development and marketing manager. She said, our intention is to grow bigger over the next 10 years with a view to establishing a permanent, huge museum with the world's biggest collection of vaginas, vulvas, and the gynecological anatomy.
Cool.
Okay. They aim to banish shame and stigma and get women to feel comfortable to speak about their bodies. So it's going to open November 16th in Camden Market. So if you are in London, please do go and check out the Vagina Museum. Did you find something else?
Well, I'm just going to email you the Harry Style lights up video.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I will have to check that out. Mm-hmm. So I accidentally brought up Kim Kardashian without realizing that I do have her in the sex cast today.
I have to admit, I'm a little bit jealous. The only thing is she has amazing hair. I mean, she probably has, people that travel around with her, but she has stunning hair.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, skin. I've got dark skin. I'm Italian. I got other stuff. I have a great ass. All that sort of stuff. But her hair, I have to admit, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, very pretty. Very, very pretty. So the Met Gala is always a source of anxiety, apparently, for Kim Kardashian.
Are we already there again? No, I know. Yeah. I just love that. I have to admit, those dresses, yeah. I have I mean, the guys, I would love to be able, you need like $30,000 minimum for a ticket or something like that. Uh-huh. Then you got to get your outfit. Yep. But it's all for a really good cause, and what the hell. I mean, if I had, if I was sitting around with cash like that, mm-hmm. I think I would enjoy a good Met Gala. Yeah. I really do.
Oh, yeah. Every year she's always, it's called Fashion's Biggest Night Out, which mm-hmm. makes perfect sense, right? But Kim says she always gets nervous because her husband really is her wardrober. I mean, mm-hmm. pretty much. And this year, she wanted to wear this sort of a corset. And he said, "No, I'm sorry, you can't wear this corset dress from Terry Mugler. It's too sexy." And no,
that's her brand.
Well, I know. He goes, but here's this quote, Kanye West, like the corset, underwear, all that. I just feel like I just went through the transition of being a rapper and looking at all these girls. He just converted to Christianity. He said, I didn't realize that was affecting my soul and my spirit as someone that's married and loved and the father of now about to be 4 kids. So she ignored him on that one and said, look, you've sang about gangbangs, sex with your sisters-in-law, dick pics, and other things. So, I'm not going to listen at this point in time. But she did say that he totally picks out her looks and she really does trust his opinion.
Well, he does. A lot of folks that are different artists. I'm not that everyone who can act, who can sing, or do that. But if you're a creative person in one field, you generally have mm-hmm. can be creative in others and have a decent eye. Personally, I think the guy is totally batshit crazy. But what the hell? She's in love with him. They have 4 kids. They seem happy.
They do seem.
Yeah. They go through that.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
That's a lot of kids. Even if you got a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously they're enjoying themselves and enjoying their kids, and because I don't think you keep having.
Do they still have a show? Do they still do that show? I don't even know.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Apparently, I've never watched it.
My daughter watched it for a little bit. She's like, these people are insane. She was looking. I'm like, really? Why? Because I asked her. I'm not going to tell you not to watch it, but I would like to know why you're watching it. She goes, because these people are nuts.
Really?
And for her, it was hilarious.
Okay.
She wasn't like, I got to do this or I got to do that. She's like, these people are crazy. I'm like, oh, okay. Either that or she knew how to answer, me correctly. But, I think like I said, I wasn't going to tell her no. Yeah. I did tell her when she was little she couldn't play a video game that had Santa with a shotgun.
That's fair.
Yeah, that one. I went, No, we don't get to play that one. There's a lot of other video games. But as she got older, I trusted her, what she was doing.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sex robots for Megan. The news.
We haven't had a good sex robot in a while.
I think they've been off inventing.
Yeah. There's a little lull. Well, they looked at said, okay, here's what we got, and this is where we want to be. How what do we got to do?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. They are predicting now, in the next several years, it's going to be difficult to tell sex robots from humans. Not comforting, as far as I'm concerned. This comes from the president of 1AM Dolls, Brent Lawson. They've got 30 bodies and 100 different face options. And he says they can't make a likeness without that person's, permission. But he said they're several years away before their ability to perfect the AI portion, but also to make them as humanoid as possible. Here's the weird thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, this real. Wait a minute. Here's the weird thing about sex. Yeah, robots. Okay. Mm-hmm. No, it's really weird. So an average doll right now can range 65 to 80 pounds, and they want to reduce the weight. Now, that doesn't seem like it weighs a lot, right? He said, but it's a problem because it's dead weight, and it's not... they said it's really hard. So they want to lower the weight of dolls so that they can allow for all the servos and other items to be added to keep the doll at manageable weight so that they can be,
Yeah, I mean, the silicone and all that sort of stuff, is pretty expensive and pretty heavy. I mean, we got some really good, really, really nice penis dildos in. It's not just one solid piece. There's the covering moves a little bit over the core, and it warms up, and when it squeezes, it feels more real, a lot more realistic. But I mean, that's like a part without bones. And as much as people like to talk about the little brain, there is no brain, in just penis. But the whole. I don't know. It just seems, once again, like very expensive masturbation.
Very, very. But believe it or not, one of the most popular requests now is curvier bodies.
And that's not going to keep the weight down because you need to, unless they figure out how to get foam in there or something like that.
A British, she's a pleasure professor, Louise van der Velde. She's a serial mistress, and she has decided to marry. She is 45-year-old Louise is going to marry businessman Matthew Cook, age 33. And she's been in polyamorous relationships for years. And
she has found the one? So
she was married in an open marriage, and I guess her husband died. And so then she's been polyamorous for a really long time. And that was working out until one night a partner left and she missed him. And then that kind of opened up her mind. And then they met and they were both just jiggy. And so I guess it is kind of.
Yeah, I know. People evolve. I mean, if you were honestly the same person you were when you were 22, the world would be a lot more. I mean, the whole world would be a lot more obnoxious if you're all the same people we were when you're like 22.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
You're allowed to change. Hopefully,
nice.
Change for yourself for the better.
Yeah,
it's going through there.
Yes,
but I know very few people that are that are exactly the same as they were 40 years ago. I mean, their inner being is sort of the same, but they just sort of coalesce it into a more responsible person. But they're still not the same.
Yeah.
Some people. I'm always fascinated that people that are really assholes when they're in their 20s tend to stay that way. If you're some asshole, sometimes you can work around it. But if you're just deep to the core asshole, you tend to stay that way. And if you're really like deep to the core, like a kind person, that doesn't seem to change. But the rest of us in the middle somewhere, I think we go back and forth a little bit as we grow.
Yeah.
Depending on what's going on. But I do think that there are just some people you meet and you're like, I've known these people forever, and they are still unpleasant. They have learned nothing in all these years. And then you think this other person, you're like, I haven't seen this person forever, and they are exactly the same lovely person they were, And you're just like, how is that possible? How are you that nice? And you are. I know. There was a gal that I went to high school with, and I just went, she was pleasant back then and all this sort of stuff. And she just, it still is just amazing. I'm like, I don't know. I just find that, just to be that, just be that pleasant.
A friend of mine that I've known since high school, and I laugh constantly, and we actually have pretty extensive conversations about, we met when we were 14, and we're in our 50s now, and it's like, we don't feel mentally older. You know what I mean?
No. My dad always felt about 27. And I realized that like my late 20s is about how I feel. And then I turn around and realize that my daughter is going to be almost 20. And it just, the two halves of my brain bash into each other sometimes, and it's confusing as hell.
It is, because, I mean, she and I actually, I think that's funny. We identify as much younger because we're kind of a couple of doorknobs. I mean, we're goofballs and, whatever. But, I mean, people still surprise, shock me constantly. I'm like, really? And you'd think, that I would, nope.
Oh, yeah, but honestly, think about how jaded you would have to be not be appalled or really thrilled about something. I mean, I would rather still be appalled at something or still be thrilled at something versus not give a shit.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. For sure. But yeah, I suppose it's just interesting. I mean, I don't know, but, I don't know how I got down that path.
Oh, I know. Because I'm just rambling. It's what I do.
It's okay. That's all right. Finally, instead of stories about people putting stupid things in their vaginas that they shouldn't, we have a penis warning.
Someone put something in their penis they shouldn't?
On it. The article is called Penis Paste. There is some stuff circulating out there where they're saying if you want to last longer, guys, put toothpaste on your dick.
No. Sorry. Was that?
Yeah. Yeah. And a pharmacist, James Alone, says, no, don't do that. Do not do it at all because it could cause bleaching, of the skin. It could give you a mild burn, blisters, scarring, and you should not use toothpaste as a lubricant.
No, well, the thing is, do you know what's in, the stuff that's in toothpaste to make whitener, those are microplastic beads. Yeah. There's microplastics in all that face scrubs, toothpaste, all that sort of shit. Okay, this is why there's so much, biggest problem in the ocean. I mean, there's probably, so you really, really don't want to be like rubbing microplastic into your penis. If you're, yeah.
I won't.
No.
I won't.
No.
I'm fine if it's not even minty fresh. Okay, like just no. But the National Health Service is saying that if you do want to try to last longer, here are some safe things to do. So let's just run through these quickly. Masturbate an hour or two before sex. Use a thick condom to help decrease sensation. Take a deep breath to briefly shut down the ejaculatory reflex.
Yep, hold on. I'm just going to grab something off my desk here. We got...
Take breaks during sex and think about something boring.
Cool, yeah.
What do you have?
You could grab a silicone stud lasso. This is a loop of silicone cord that's adjustable. It was a very popular cock ring style that we had years ago, but it was made out of latex and not as good. This is a really nice. I'll snap a picture of it. I'll put it on the Great Northern Sexcast page. But it's a very simple adjustable cinch silicone loop. And you can use it as a cock ring.
Nice.
To hold it at. It's very simple. It
looks like a little tennis racket.
It sort of does, yeah. It's just a little,
with no netting, of course, but yeah.
But I'll take a picture of honestly, a very simple silicone cock ring or this or something is a very easy way to, just to hold on to erection a little bit longer.
Perfect. I love that. Quick note, Victoria's Secret has finally hired a plus-size model. And
what? I mean, considering the fact that most of their models are about 5'10" and weigh maybe 110 pounds, what are they considering a plus size model? I'm 5'3" and weigh over 200 pounds. I'm pretty sure they're not putting me down that aisle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody says it's too little, too late anyway.
Yep.
Okay, we have to talk about HPV for a minute here.
I know that there's most people have it. I do know that at one point, and there is a lovely vaccine out there that both young men and young women can get.
Yep, and it's just incredibly common, and 14 million people are estimated to contract it every single year. And the vaccine, like you just mentioned, is called Gardasil. But there's a new study that's been published that's saying, listen, a low-risk variety of this can also change, this is important for you ladies, the vaginal microbiome. Am I saying that right?
I think so. I think
or
it's,
biome.
Yeah, I think it's just
microbiome.
I think.
Okay, good article. We will put it on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page. There are 40 different types of this disease, and there's some really good information about all the different things it could cause. So definitely you want to get checked out, but you do not want to mess up the chemistry because, it's really destructive for you.
Yeah, that can lead to, one of the biggest things is that HPV can have absolutely no symptoms. And I can't believe that I finally figure out how to adjust the volume on my phone, yet I forget to turn off the Do Not Disturb.
Well, that's okay.
But the infertility is one of the biggest side effects of HPV, besides just certain types of cancer.
Right. Right. Cervical, not the least of which. I don't know if you heard this, but this is kind of an interesting thing that I thought might have been a gateway for other things down the line, but who knows, because different people are funny about these things. But did you hear about Sesame Street? What on their online version that they have introduced a character, a puppet child whose parents are going through addiction treatment, and
honestly, that it is the absolute number one reason that kids are in foster care.
Yeah.
And so, Sesame Street's done a lot of amazing things. I remember I saw a clip just a few weeks ago about how they finally, quite a few years ago, let everybody see Snuffleupagus. Because they did that because they were afraid that children were learning that if something bad happened to them or something, that adults wouldn't believe them when they told him stuff. And so it was a whole thing about, if you tell us something, we'll believe you.
Oh.
And so they decided that Snuffleupagus could not be invisible anymore.
Oh, how funny.
Fascinating clip. Everyone can Google it. It's very sweet. And they're just, you believe me, stuff like that. It was, and the adults apologized to the kids for not believing them.
Oh, well, no, that's good too, especially when you're trying to teach people no means no.
Yeah, and the same thing here with, I know they dealt with death when one of the characters died and when one of the husbands died. They dealt with, I think, a miscarriage. So dealing with addiction, especially with the tens of thousands of kids that are in foster care because of this, it's going to make them feel not alone.
Yeah, well, here's the other sad stat. 5.7 million children under the age of 11 live in households with a parent who has a substance use disorder. And, they're trying to address this from their perspective and, hopefully get out. I hope that parents will let kids watch that, because if they meet a kid who talks about it, how to be kind and all of that. So very interesting story, I thought.
Yeah, I don't have HBO, so I don't, and I know, and I'm pretty sure, because that's where it is now, but I do know that like a year after or sometime after it's on HBO, it will be, they'll be showing it on probably public television what's going through there, but they've got like, a fair amount of lead time on stories.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is I remember a story, and I got to Google to see if it's true, where someone said they wanted to like do fewer shows. And someone says, okay, which letters don't you want us to teach? Because remember...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, which letters should we cut?
Yeah.
Which 2 letters should we talk about?
Yeah, oh, God, that's funny.
I mean, you got to have a minimum of 24 shows a year. Yeah, because that's what they do.
You mean 26?
What? Oh, shit, yeah. I'm thinking about years.
Maybe they did.
Maybe they did do it. That's what I'm saying, is that they wanted to do like 24 shows instead of like 28 or I don't know, whatever the hell it was. But they're like, yeah, what letter should we cut? And I did it myself. Oh, my God.
Okay. So there's this article, and you should read it if you are into cannabis or not. But there's this article about how cannabis affects sex, okay? So here's the hilarious thing. Over the years, they've had a really hard time studying this.
Oh, yeah, because it's, been in Class A, bullshit drugs.
Well, it's a drug.
Like yeah.
But people can't remember. They need people to be able to remember what the experience was.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Mm-hmm. The other problem was that any of the published studies were heavily male. Mm-hmm. And so that was the other thing. So they've done another one, and she's trying to gather data now. But it's really an interesting article. And even if you're not a user, you should check this article out.
I'm fascinated because I know there was I was standing in the grocery store at Lunds & Byerly's, probably a year ago now, and I saw a magazine that just called Women and Weed, a special publication. I don't know who was from. And then there was an article there about sex, and I ran across one here or there about different things, and they just don't have enough information. Most of it's anecdotal, so like it helps. I really loved it. It was, it was freeing. Other people are like, I was too paranoid. Or, it dried me up. It did. I was wetter than I normally was. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be just like anything else. Each person is different.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so much of these studies, which makes, I think, the scientific methodology even more complicated, is there's self-reporting here.
Yeah.
So you don't know. But at the end of the day, I'll spoil it this way, although there's a lot of really interesting information. They said that there's nothing definitely proving that cannabis enhances sex or that it could contribute to or be used to treat specific sexual dysfunctions such as premature ejaculation. So,
yeah, you probably get too damned relaxed.
So I guess, and I'm not advocating doing something that may be illegal wherever you are, but if you are curious about it, I would say the only thing you can do is try it yourself.
Yeah. And have a nice weekend in a cabin in Colorado, or pretty soon, I think in 2020, it's legal in Illinois. I mean, it's getting closer to Minnesota here.
Yeah. Very curious if that's going to happen. So, we broke the seal on the cold. So we'll be talking more Sexigans and shenanigans coming up, I think, don't you?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.